Okay, so welcome to the optional part of your homework challenge for this half term. We're going to look at the concept of pseudocode. Now, it's kind of like a middle step in between your data flow diagram, which we created as part of the actual compulsory part of your homework, and it's kind of like the middle step in between that and actually fully writing the code. So instead of you having to download Python and everything at home, this is kind of like a bridge between the two gaps, where you can start to plan out what your code is actually going to look like before you actually get there. Now, it's a bit like the previous section where the more detail and the more thought you can put in at this point, the easier your code's going to be, because if you're getting that one step closer, it's going to make it a little bit easier when it gets fully through to programming it within Python. You've got to produce well annotated, so you're going to have to make sure that you comment it as you go, or when you take screenshots for this section of your evidence file, you're going to have to comment underneath each part of it. So actually commenting it as you go will be the easier of the two options. Showing all or almost all of your main blocks within the proposed solution. So again, I can forgive a couple of parts missing in the code as long as you've thought through thoroughly through your data flow diagram and how it's going to look within the code. Right, you're going to need your data flow diagram for this one. I'm going to copy it into a separate document so I can have it side by side. So a bit like where the code is, I can have my pseudocode on one side, and I can have, instead of the marking grid, my data flow diagram on the left. Helps when you've got a widescreen laptop for this one, I suppose. Now the first part we're going to look at is we're going to take it straight from the start, and I'm going to move myself across as I start to develop these ones. Now, the next video takes a look at what AQA defines as pseudocode. So I would take a look at the document attached to this post in Edmodo, because you're going to need the AQA specification for pseudocode.